Hello friends and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today is the day we are planting the signature garden for the 2026 summer season. This is just the beginning, my friends. We are going to pace ourselves today, but we are loading up the signature garden with tons of gorgeous annuals that are going to give us color and texture and movement, and the pollinators are going to love it. My hummingbirds are going to love it. So you're going to join Jerry, Cece, and myself as we plant this garden. It is a monumental task, but we are focusing on the interior, the formal part of the signature garden. We will take care of the outer beds later, but everything we're planting today will be annuals. So we have got to get going. Let me just do a really quick overview of these plants, where they are going to go, what we're doing, and yeah, so much fun. Talk about flower power, my friends. We have got some Supertunias in here that are just absolutely stunning. So first up, closest to us, we have the Supertunia Mini Vista White. If you know me, you know how much I absolutely love this plant. It is tight, it is compact, it is pure white flowers, going to make a carpet of white all around the fountain. So of course in the interior, the very dead center, we have our fountain. And so we are going to plant these around the base of the fountain to give that huge pop of white. It is going to be gorgeous. And when we put the drone up, it is going to be even more stunning. So we have got Supertunia Mini Vista White. We have got Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid. Y'all, this petunia, she just screams, look at me, I am gorgeous, I want all the attention. You have got that nice wide white edge all the way around with that rich raspberry pink on the inside. Gorgeous. This is considered like a regular Supertunia. So it's going to be a vigor somewhere between a mini Vista and a Vista. Have a beautiful spread. That is going to go in mass in the front side of the raised beds. So we're going to fill in that entire area from the boxwoods down to the dry creek bed, the river rock right here. So that is all going to go there. Again, mass planting, nothing but Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid. And then we're moving on to probably my second favorite Mini Vista. This is the newest Mini Vista, well, one of the new ones. This is the Supertunia Mini Vista Plum Veined. It has, of course, that rich plum color, and you can really see the veining in this. It is a nice, tight, compact, gorgeous impact, and we're going to pair the plum veined with this Superbina Cobalt. So this is a verbena that is a solid, let's just be honest, really rich purple, nice huge flower heads on it. So we're going to take these two and kind of mix them, and they are going to go on the front side of the raised beds here in front of Little Lime Punch. We're going to fill it in with those two and do mass plantings there. And then last on this initial round of planting, to know it is to love it, right? The Vermillionaire Cuphea. Vermillionaire is that really beautiful, rich orange tubular flowers that the hummingbirds and your pollinators go nuts over. So we are going to be planting this en masse on the very back side of the garden, the interior garden, between the glitters and glows viburnums. So we're going to have a really nice pop of orange here that the hummingbirds are going to be very excited about. So like I said, it is Jerry, Cece, and myself. We are going to attack this and just get after it. We have got both the Jenny's Edition, the 2.5-inch auger, and the 5-inch auger. So we are going to go through and drill mass number of holes, plop these babies in the ground, and move on, because not only are we going to do these areas, but we also are going to plant the 4 interior beds with a whole mix of annuals. That design's a little bit more complicated, so we're going to get these done and just move with purpose. It's a great day, but we got a lot of plants to get in the ground. We are making progress, my friends. As you can see, the wagon is dramatically less full than it was when we started, but we got, let's see, let's do a quick little review right quick. So we did get all the Vermillionaire in back here between the glitters and glows viburnums, and doing mass planting, right? So we did, as Cece said, like a little honeycomb configuration. Basically, we went 3 or 4 down the center, depending on how much space we had between the glitters and glows, and then on each side of that window pane. So the idea is that we will have it'll look like one ginormous plant between the glitters and glows viburnums. And I know that the hummingbirds are going to be very, very happy. And then if you are an avid watcher of Gardening with Creekside, you know how much Jerry loves working on this fountain. It is his most favorite thing in the world to do. But we are determined to get it up and running. He had to do a little bit of a repair because this past winter, when we had our first hard freeze, even though we turned the water off at this spigot, it was, obviously there was some water trapped down in the bottom, and it shattered the pipe. So he has replaced it. We're working on getting a little box built around that. And then you can see I went and grabbed a piece of flagstone, so we'll put in front of it to have like a little stepping stone. So getting the water in using the hose link, the idea is that we have, this is a spigot to the main line, and then it'll come over, so that way we can just easily fill up the fountain and we don't have to pull out the hose link. And so trying to get it up and running, Jackson had the shop vac to get all the little leaves and the debris out. So fingers crossed that when we plug it in, it shall work. So that is the goal. That is the goal. Now, what we did do is we got the raised bed over here. We got both sides of it planted. Again, massive color explosion, my friends. We have got the Superbina Cobalt on the corners. So we were talking, Cece and I were talking, because when you're looking in, like where Cece is and coming into the garden, we wanted to have the Cobalt on the corners and have a mass explosion of that. Just a beautiful, absolutely rich, deep purple color. Again, y'all, they are jammed in here. So each of the 4 corners has the Cobalt, and then down along the front, we have the Supertunia Mini Vista Plum veined. If you've never grown this one, y'all, oh my gosh, it is such a great, nice, tight, compact plant with those gorgeous plum flowers on it. Absolutely one of my favorites. So of course, both sides of the raised beds are planted the exact same, and then those are the little lime punch hydrangeas that will be, oh my gosh, this year they are going to be absolutely magnificent because they're going into their 4th summer, so they will do great. And then look at that color explosion with the Hoopla Vivid Orchid. I mean, it is great. Now, you may notice, I know that some of you will because you are very astute, observant viewers. Some of the petunias reverted back to like a solid color. We decided to leave them in there for some fun, but we did 3 rows and nice and full. Basically, there's 80 plants on each of the sides. So a total of 160 plants, 80 on each. Massive flower color here. I feel like my hat's a little wonky, so if it looks a little wonky, it's okay. Sun hat, great. A bunch of y'all been asking about my sun hats. So, you know, since I'm out in the sun 6 days a week, Cooley and Solbari. Those are my 2 favorite places to get sun hats and sun protective clothing. So if you're interested, I don't get any kind of money off those or anything. I'm just one gardener sharing it with another gardener. So you can check those out. If I remember, I'll put the link in the video description. If I forget, somebody tell me in a comment and I'll post it, the links for you. But anyway, side note, squirrel. So we always talk about this. I try to remind people, right? So this is a display garden. We are a business. By no means, because there will always be somebody that's like, oh my gosh, you are just planting so many plants. That's insane. Well, yes, honey, it's a display garden. It's supposed to like wow you and to inspire you. Not that we think that you should do the exact same thing at your house. Everybody is a student of their own garden. You live in your home. You do what's great for you. If you just see the Hoopla Vivid Orchid and you think, oh my gosh, that is the coolest petunia, and you grow one of them and you love it, then that is our goal, right? Mission accomplished. To give you introductions to new plants maybe you're not familiar with, or like a planting technique or a planting style, a design, those kinds of things, right? So not everybody has a signature garden in their backyard and that, you know, you're gonna plant for that. Open to the public, everybody comes to be wowed here. So that is what we're doing. Now, as Jerry said, we're not gonna kill ourselves. The goal is to get the interior planted. We'll see. It's lunchtime and the sun's coming out, so you know what that means. We're gonna start moving a little bit slower. So I would like to get at least, we're gonna get the fountain done with the mini Vista white, but I need to wait until the construction process is done before we plant those. And then I would love to get at least one bed laid out and designed so that way we have a launch point for the other three. So I just wanted to jump on here and just give you a quick little update real quick on how everything is doing. Sometimes you just have to laugh at yourself, y'all. Me in this floppy hat, good grief. Oh well, it kept the sun off of me. This is no beauty contest around here. We got the signature garden all planted. We kept the trays, and 109 trays. They hold 10 plants each, so that's 1,090 annuals that we planted today. It is 4 o'clock and we are done. When I say 1,090, it feels like there should be more than that because we have been planting for a long time. But also, I'm like 109 trays. That's a lot of plants and it looks great. Having the fountain going is just so like calming and peaceful. So we've talked about all of the quote easy beds. So now let's go through the 4 interior beds. They're planted the exact same. So we're going to do one that's in the shade because it is toasty out here. So we're going to look at the one in the shade and just know that the other 3 are planted the exact same. This is a little bit of a different design and plant choice for me, but I really think we're gonna like it a lot. The big colors for the signature garden this year are like pink and orange, and then obviously we accent it with some purples and some blues and some greens and some deep rich tones as well. So let's just go for it, and we're gonna go through the bed. We're gonna start from what I would consider the front, which would be behind the bench. So we have a row, we're gonna have a hedge of the diamond frost euphorbia. So this will be very light and airy looking, in that 12 to 18 inch range, and obviously we planted them nice and close to one another, so it will form a beautiful hedge, which will intermingle to the next row, which is the cerveza and lime. This is a type of plectranthus. It is not going to flower. It will be in that 14 to 18 inches, so kind of the same height, but again, will intermingle with the diamond frost. You want cerveza and lime because when you rub it, it lets off this fragrance that smells just like lime. So a really fun accent, having those go all the way down. Next row, we have the Truffula pink, and so Truffula pink, of course, is that gomphrena. So because the bed is shaped interestingly, so we have a single row going down, and then when you come to this end of the bed, which is wider, then we have, it kind of spreads out and we'll have a mass grouping of the gomphrena. This is one that loves the sun, is very drought tolerant. The butterflies love it. Has these beautiful, you would think that the pink is the flower. It's not. The actual flower is the little orange that is inside. Very light, airy, and wispy. So we've got those. Then the next row over, we alternate between the Color Blaze Torchlight coleus, which is kind of that dark, moody. It's got some deep purples, that pink veining, and then that green edging. Your Color Blaze Torchlight is going to get nice and big. Every bit of like 3 feet tall and 2 feet wide. Like they get really, really big. And they can do sun or shade, so we love that. And then they alternate with the Senorita Rosalita Cleome. I adore this plant. Cleome is one of those super easy but super showy annuals. Will get huge. I mean, this row is going to absolutely tower. And so that's why we kind of go from low to high. And then the next row, they're not quite blooming yet, is we have the Rockin' Fuchsia Salvia. Rockin' Fuchsia, obviously, as its name suggests, is going to be really deep, deep, rich pink blooms. Your hummingbirds go nuts over this thing. And we have a single line going all the way down. This is all going to make this huge hedge. When these plants are nice and full and happy, you will not see 1 ounce of mulch in this bed. And then to kind of anchor the corner of the bed, we did a grouping of 3 of the purple fountain grass. I love a purple fountain grass, y'all. I love having grass in the flower bed, brings movement, and putting 3 of them like this close to each other is going to make a huge impact and lots of movement in the garden. And then last but certainly not least is the Campfire Flame Bidens. These are going to stay nice and short. Again, nice hedge on them. This is a massive pollinator attractor. Those really beautiful deep orange and yellow flowers just going to be covered in them nonstop. Y'all, we've got 40 of them down each side of each of the beds all the way down. And so this is going to be a huge, huge impact, big pop of orange that the pollinators are going to love. This hat is cracking me up. All right, so I really don't I have no clue as to how long this video will turn out to be once we're done with all the editing. But I was telling Jerry, I was like, this is one of those projects where I wish we had a film crew. I wish we were not the film crew, because it is hard to plant over 1,000 annuals with basically 3 people. For Heriberto did come in at the end and help us. But roughly 3 people in 7 hours, I would say. And so that includes bringing all the plants down, getting them watered, making sure that the design is right, getting all of that and getting them planted. That's a lot of plants, y'all. And so this is why I hope I hope you extend us some grace, and maybe if all the fun, you know, footage is not there, just know that we're doing our best. And good golly, I am like dead dog tired. And so it feels great to have the garden planted. So all we have to do now is have fun with this hat and keep them well watered, because we are in a drought. There is no sign of rain anytime soon. And then of course we will begin the water soluble fertilizer here pretty soon, so that everybody can get some nice strong roots and get really established and get some flower power going on for all of our friends. Today we used the Jenny's Edition, the 5-inch auger exclusively. So that 5-inch auger planted that 1,090 annuals on 1 battery, and could not do that number of plants without that auger. So if remember, we have the Power Planter Workshop this Saturday at 10 a.m. Greg Newald, who is the owner of Power Planter, is flying in from Illinois to do the workshop. We've got 2 food trucks coming. We've got 12th on the Rocks, which is a like a drink truck, right? So they'll do like coffees and lemonades and that kind of stuff. We've had them multiple times before. It is delicious. And then we have TJ's Hams Burgers. So super excited about that, to have a delicious burger and a lunch and that kind of thing. So the plants are plentiful. We've got tons of plants. We're getting another plant delivery in this week. So you're going to want to be here on Saturday. The threat of frost has gone by. And so come eat, drink, shop, plant, learn. It'll be a great day. I cannot wait. I'm gonna have to get some rest though before then, because it's going to be a fantastic day. All right, my friends, as always, hope you found this fun, informative, and inspirational. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.